Hi there. You wanted me to do a demonstration of the gas versus induction, so I have my induction cooktop here. It's brand new. I just plugged it in and tested it, made sure it worked. One thing you want to do is also test your pans. I have a few pans here. These are both by Calphalon. They are the TriPly series, but there is one major important difference. They look exactly the same, as you can see. They're made by the same mold and similar style. But this one on the back is newer, and it actually says it works for gas, heat elements, electric, and induction right at the end. This one is an older model and doesn't even say it works for gas or heat or anything. It doesn't have any of those icons at the bottom. In fact, all it has is really the model number and the size. But if I were to put it on here and set it to low and hit start, I get an error and it won't work. If I use this one that actually says it's for induction and put it on low and start, it will actually turn on and start heating the pan. So I'll turn that off. Now it's interesting to figure out how to do it. It's really just a matter of ferrous metal. So this one is magnetic and it'll work, where this one's not. It does have some ferrous metal in it, but not a lot. Not enough to get this thing to work. It has a failsafe in it, so if there's no ferrous metal in there, it won't turn on, which is why they say you can turn it on and put your hand on it and it won't work. So this little one is a newer one. I picked up when I got this, and it works just fine. Same with the big pan. It actually says it right on the bottom, and it works just fine. So I know those will work. Now, one thing I have noticed about the induction cooktops versus the gas is, as I said, this pan is very old. I've used it for many years, at least 6, and inside is perfectly clean. There's no discoloration. It's still stainless steel looking. Very nice. This one I've used about 8 times, and it's already starting to blue. I don't know if you can see it, but there's like a blue ring in here, and then it goes to a golden, to a red, and then back. It's interesting. It's a little more noticeable on this pan, which I've only cooked eggs on medium heat, according to the induction cooktop, and it's got this weird blue ring exactly where the induction coil in the unit is. It doesn't seem to affect anything. From what I've read online, it seems to be just fine, but it is something to note that after only a few uses, it turns the pan blue. So what I'm going to do here is a test of gas versus induction. Now I have 2 of the same size pan, same style, same brand, but one is set up for induction and one doesn't have that property, but it's still a similar thickness, stainless steel. I have my gas stove here. I have 1.5 cups of water, which I will pour in. These came from the same source and are of the same temperature. Been sitting out for a few minutes now while we set up. So I can put this on high or sear. I'm just going to put it on high, which sets it to 425. If I did max sear, I'm not really sure what it is, but they say it's 500. But I'm just going to put it on high, and I can start that right when I start this. And so they're both started. I have this one on not quite high, otherwise the flame will go around, which is something that you have to kind of pay attention to. You don't want your flame being too large or too small. If I put it on a smaller burner, it wouldn't get quite the same BTU output. If I put it on a large burner, the flame would be too large and just go around the pan. I find that this pan and that burner works just fine. So let me put this away. It's all started because I want to make some coffee. Now, these have been going for, I don't know, not too long. The top is obviously, there's plenty of heat coming off here. You can feel it. There's no heat coming off on the sides. The top is getting warm. I can put my hand right here and there's no heat there, if I touch the pan, it is getting warm. It's definitely getting hot. And but right here, right up to this whole cook surface is not hot. Now I will mention that if I pick this up after this gets hot and put my hand on it, it will burn. It is still very hot. The cook surface right directly underneath the pan does get very warm. I don't know if it would fry an egg, but I definitely don't want to touch it. It will leave a blister. So I'll leave that right there. And you can see this one is starting to steam up a little bit. So is this one here. But again, wasted energy is really where it comes down to. So I'm going to take this top off so we can see. And if I take the camera and bring it over and what you see in there, you can see it's starting to get somewhat of a boil, and this one already has plenty of steam and is really starting to boil. So you can see the induction here is definitely cranking that energy right to the unit, and it's not even on sear, it's just on high. If it was sear, it would definitely start to royal boil a lot faster. So here it goes. It's starting to get to its boiling point. And here is the gas. Again, you know, is it faster? It is faster in boiling water. I would say that is boiling. It's, you know, it's definitely hot. And here over in the gas, it's starting to get its bubbles down at the bottom. But this one is definitely at a boil. You can see where the induction is, right where that ring of bubbles are. It's very apparent. If I move the pan, you'll see that ring move, and you can see that that's where the induction is. So that is at a full steady boil, and this one still isn't. So if you want to boil water, induction is the way to go. If you want your pans to stay you know, beautiful, stay with gas. Because, you know, this is a pan that was used in gas only, and that was a pan that was used in induction a handful of times. So, you know, I want to say this one's about 8 years old, and I use it almost every day. That one I used just for the past week and a half, so big difference. Still boiling strong. This one's starting to get to its boil, and we'll be ready probably as soon as, you know, that one almost boils off. So, oh, there it goes. So I'm going to put this back over here so you can see. So there's the two. If I turn this off, I'm going to turn that off, immediately stops. Same with gas, I can turn it off, the heat source stops. So in that sense they're exactly the same. And if I were to pick this up, put this over here, I'll get a little water, and it's drying quick, and it's definitely hot. Yeah, it's definitely hot. Over here isn't, but right where the pan was, there's definitely some sourcing. So I'll turn that off. And so now I have hot water to make coffee. So see ya.